It's 2016 in Iowa. The last time NDSU played an FBS opponent. NDSU wind up winning the game 23-21, setting the stage and ultimately leading to another FCS national championship. What has happened? Oregon is set to play NDSU in 2020 for the first game of both teams, but what has happened? Let's check for a second. Alabama, Clemson, and Ohio State haven't played NDSU yet, which brings huge question marks. NDSU has been national championship for this past decade, all but once, when JMU beat them in the semifinal and then went on to win the national championship, FCS. And with that logic, NDSU has one more than Bama did, one more than Clemson, one more than pretty much anyone. But unfortunately, no one wants to schedule them. No one does. Of course, they have to schedule FCS teams, but no FBS team wants to schedule them. And that leaves the question of how and or why. NDSU is pretty much the Alabama of FCS. But what have Clemson, what have Ohio State, what have Alabama done? Ignore them every year. You guessed that correct. You're correct. But why hasn't Alabama, Clemson, or Ohio State played them yet? It's a pretty easy explanation. They're afraid of a loss. Alabama, Clemson, and Ohio State are afraid of the loss because of the exclusion of the College Football Playoff Committee, which only allows 4 teams, and that is roughly 4% of all. And that is roughly 4% of all FBS teams, of all the college football bowl subdivision teams. But is NDSU more deserving than what the non-con suggests? Ohio State will play Bowling Green and Buffalo. I can guarantee NDSU beats both of those teams. So why can't they play Ohio State? Or why can't they play Alabama, who is going to play versus the Citadel and among others? Clemson also has the Citadel, but Clemson's case is even worse since NDSU beats all the ACC. The team that dared to schedule them now is Oregon, which the Ducks. Prior to that, their last game was versus Iowa in the FBS level. The last time they played was against Iowa in the FBS level, and even still then, North Dakota State won. So why can't they play versus Ohio State? Why can't they play versus Alabama? Why can't they play versus Clemson? They're ignored every year by those top teams, and therefore we get ridiculous comments like, well, not on my channel, but we get ridiculous comments like, NDSU will lose by 5 touchdowns, NDSU will lose 100-0, NDSU will, but NDSU is a lot better than you think. 8 FCS championships. That is called consistency over the past decade alone. And not even Alabama and the FBS has done that. And in itself, that seems pretty weird in itself. But if only then NDSU should move up to FBS. I mean, they're not a lot more deserving than Rutgers. They're a lot more deserving than Vanderbilt. They're a lot more deserving than Duke. They're a lot more deserving than Georgia Tech. Well, Duke is because of their basketball, but still, they're a lot more deserving than pretty much mostly every team. But until the top FBS teams decide to schedule them, we'll never know. I'm looking forward to the Oregon versus NDSU game. It's going to be a great matchup. I'm predicting Oregon, but I'm sure that NDSU will put up a fight. Their new QB Trey Lance is a beast. He's has 42 touchdowns and incredibly 0 interceptions at the FCS level. He's a QB that could even play in the SEC. He would have no problem playing the SEC. But unfortunately, then comes the thing that nobody wants to schedule him because, you know. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you around.